Well, welcome, ladies. It's nice to see you, even though you're wearing a mask. But I know you're going to have a lot of fun today. We'll be asking you to really think about the process, to discuss, and to give us great feedback to the Marketing Ad Hoc Committee. I am Suzanne Rondeau. I am the chairperson of the Marketing Ad Hoc Committee, and I'd like to present my wonderful team that really worked with me during the year to present the policies and changes and suggestions to the board. And moving on forward, we will be taking your ideas to help us strategize. I know Nancy Bell has gone out to get another member, but I will introduce those who are here. Nancy Pepiez, Jan Murdoch, Jennifer Bradbury, there's Nancy Bell, and there's Joyce Ratz. So that was our team. I want you to applaud and start this workshop with a big Yahoo! Yahoo! We have a short video to present to you, followed by a cute little skit, and then you will be really working at the third part of our presentation.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Rondeau, chairperson of the Marketing Ad Hoc Committee established in September 2020. The committee's mandate was to raise the profile of RWTO OERO. We started by creating an effective advertisement, which was strategically placed in key magazines targeting our preferred audience, teachers working in educational settings. We paid for search engine optimization for our RWTO OERO website. Searching for RWTO OERO is faster and more efficient. We advertise on local cable companies. Messages are being posted regularly, and they will run until the end of June 2022. Branches are encouraged to post messages with their local community cable company.
We have an RWTO OERO Facebook group page. It is informative, fun, and is private to our members. Branches are encouraged to create their own Facebook group page. It's a great place to share resources, events, ideas, and to ask questions of members. An administrator controls who gets posted and who has access.
The RWTO OERO logo is distinct to our organization. To protect it, we must use it regularly on all correspondence. Gmail accounts protect our privacy. They are also transferable to the next president of the branch, along with documents in the Drive or photos in Dropbox. Wikipedia is an internet encyclopedia which defines the communities in Ontario. Under the title Local Organizations, we plan to have our branches identified with links to our website. For example, in Brantford Wikipedia, we will enter the Brant branch link.
We must keep focused on our target audience, teachers who are near retirement. Many of us are baby boomers, but now we are welcoming Generation X. What are they looking for in an organization, and how do we need to appeal to their needs?
What we're going to do today is really find out from you how you got here, what you've been doing, and what you can do more so that we can attract that new upcoming age of retirement, because we're finding that our branches are slipping, they're being amalgamated, and we need to get out there and attract new members to our organization. Go ahead. So, although it says marketing our organization, first of all, we have to find a lot out about what our service is and who our customers are, or our consumers. So we'll start off with the first question, which I'm not going to ask you. What we're going to be doing here is some group work. Don't you just hate that? But it's going to work really well for us. But first of all, we're just going to call out answers, and Suzanne is going to be our recorder up at the chart at some point. Okay. So first of all, if anybody can just tell me, how did you? Why? Oh, is that question one? Mine's turned back. Okay. So how did you hear about RWTO/RROO? Okay, so I'll tell you my story. I'm originally from Stratford Branch, and I moved to Stratford from Kingston, and knew nobody. So how did I find out about RWTO? I took a painting course, and I met Karen Musson, and she's the current insurance convener, so you will be bound to meet her. And she was very keen on getting new people into the Stratford Branch. We went from, I think, something like 38 to almost 100 within the first 6 years. So she did a great job there. And so the next thing you knew, I was part of the RWTO, vice president, same day. All right, so can I have some hands up as to how did you hear about the group? Go ahead, Judy. My mother. Your mother was a member of the original one? Yes. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Someone else back there, please. And which branch are you from? And which branch are you from? St. Thomas Elgin. Okay. Someone else? Yes, please. By someone who was already in the group? Excellent. Okay. Joan, you were going to talk. All right. From the Tavistock area? From the Stratford branch? And of course, she became president too. Go ahead, Nancy Papias. And so they caught you. Is there anyone else who could share with us? Go ahead. Ever since. Okay. Anyone else? Go ahead. Go ahead, Judith. Joyce.
My secretive next door neighbor said to me, "Joy," she said, "Sure," she said, "you should come with me. I'm going to a meeting tomorrow." So I went with her and we were there and there wasn't a soul there and she was running around setting the tables up and putting the TV in and everything. So I was helping her. And it turned out it was Ricardo, my teacher, and she was the president of the and so I got stuck.
And did anyone else show up? Ah, good. Oh, she was organizing it. Got it. Got it. Okay, next slide. I think that we'll find that this slide is pretty much something we've already talked about, but we wanted to go on to is why did you join? So how you heard about it was through friends, but why did you join and stay with the group? Go ahead, please. That's true. Yes, Nancy. That's great. Go ahead, Patty. Okay. Well, I know that I joined because I didn't know anyone in the town that I'd moved to, including my son who was there, and then he moved away. So I was all by myself with a trainer and somebody who installed my gas oven. So, so I met a lot of people. Please continue. That's wonderful to have a branch where people are all from the same school board or near school boards. Whereas I found that the branch that I'm in, we tend to have a lot of people from away. People retire to our area, and then we have our locals. So is there anyone else who can tell me why they continue to stay with the RWTO? Yes, go ahead, please. It's wonderful. Any other volunteers who'd like to talk? Joyce?
I joined because they have so much fun. Every time we go, we have fun.
That's great. Any other reasons for joining? We know how you heard about it. Why did you join? For the friendship? Did anyone join specifically for the insurance? Okay. Did anyone here take the insurance once they had joined? So there you go. That's something that we have to offer as well. Go ahead, Patty. Yeah, we're lucky there. Well, when my other insurance company wouldn't cover my my sleep apnea machine, it was really quite, nice that I could apply again to my RWTO insurance so that they covered some of that sleep apnea machine. So it was great. Okay, so that's good. Go ahead. Oh, okay. All right. So let's get to doing a something that we have an activity. At your tables, there is a page, and it'll say Activity 1, and it'll ask you to list 3 activities that your branch currently offers. And we'll just take about 3 minutes for this, and then we'll ask one person to name some, and if you hear one that's already been named, ignore it and move on to your next. Okay. Let me get my mask. Got it? Okay, we don't have much time, and we've got this really great skit. So I'm just going to come around, or maybe pull you up and ask you if you can tell me 3 activities that your branch currently offers. And if you hear that what you offer that's already been offered, don't mention it again, okay? So we'll start here.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We're from Owen Sound. We do luncheon meetings with speakers 4 times a year, and we started back up again last November. And we've done 3, and they've been extremely well attended. We've just been so delighted. And our last one had a Ukrainian connection, so we had a wonderful speaker and made a donation. We have been, pre-COVID, we've been doing summer potluck lunches, a visit to a winery, and then off to a potluck lunch, which was great. We used to do our first day of school breakfasts at a restaurant at a park. We're going to start that up again this year, so we'll see how that one goes.
Thank you very much, Owen Sound.
Well, we've done lunch and theater, so it's kind of lunch again, but with a twist of theater. At Christmas time, we do crafts at a local greenhouse, and we've tried a picnic.
And what have you read?
Niagara South.
Niagara South.
Could you repeat the last activity, please?
A picnic.
With crafts. Crafts? Crafts at Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, we've done that. Have you done
I don't know how far I can reach, but I'll come down here to your
Thank you. You ready, Suzanne? All right. We do a golf tournament in June, a yearly golf tournament, where we have golfers and those who cannot just attend the luncheon with us. And we attracted, some 25 to 30 people from Sudbury area, 10. We also have first day back to school in September 3rd, 4th, whatever the first day back to school is, and that is very popular. All the ladies that can, we gather at a restaurant. And my colleagues here, they have walking groups twice a week, an indoor at a complex or outdoors if it's nice. They also have a book club going on. Yeah.
Between our two branches, we really enjoy lunch meetings with or without speakers. We tried to have a speaker or a program activity. So some of our activities this year were, we did have a line dancing booked, but COVID had to close the center, but we've done it in the past. Fashion show coming up at the end of the year, and we had Christmas trivia by tables during our luncheon in December. We tried to do a monthly e-news, so newsletters that are colorful and lots of pictures of our members, and it doesn't cost us anything to blast that out. We did a book recommendation list, which last 2 years was really popular for people to share books they would enjoy to try over the summer, or some they have read and then recommending to other members. Our friend from Niagara here, they had a bring a book, take a book meeting. So that's a nice way of sharing literacy. So those are some of the ideas we had.
Hi, from Peel North. We have, for our interest groups, recently had books for grandparents to read, so that grandparents can get involved because there was an interest there. And we have cards, a lot of card games. We've also held Penta, and we've helped them a lot with Penta every branch. And we do donations monthly to the Peel centers for the homeless. And during our Zoom meetings, we've had presenters every month, and we hire our archivist highlights 3 members every month.
Okay, well, we've done a lot of the things that the other groups have done, but we did do newsletter, not monthly, and that was popular. We have over 200 members, so it was hard to keep in touch, and that helped. We had to cancel an in-person meeting because it was right in the last surge, beginning of the last surge, and people started canceling out. It was going to be at a museum. We did have a wonderful online meeting that was all online except for the people presenting it, and we did 2 of those. We did one was a fashion show, and another one was in February. We had a Valentine's, and the museum came and or recorded really funny unmentionables during the centuries, different centuries, and that was really popular. And then we were keeping the theme of Valentine's, so a number of us pretended to be groupies for the Beatles, and we sang a Beatles song for that. That was also pretty popular. We had someone who's in the drumming group, and she was not comfortable being inside. We were inside a church, but she did outside in the snow with her drum. And so all of those things, because what we wanted to do, what you were saying over there, we wanted to have some fun again. And so even though we weren't in person, we had a lot of fun with that.
Please give me your first activity. I didn't get it, that you mentioned.
The fashion show?
Well, then the Valentine's was the next one.
Well, that's it. Okay, that's good.
Thank you, Mary.
We have a breakfast club that meets once a month on different days. It's to challenge our memories to see which month is Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday. And then to accommodate people who live in different parts of the city, then we change the restaurant and then we start again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now that worked beautifully before COVID, but now we found one restaurant that could handle us and that we were comfortable in. And so now, right now, we're just going to one restaurant. But the restaurant, the breakfasts were all part of our friendship activities outside of our big luncheon meetings, because then people could meet in groups of 10 to 20 and then get to know people better.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me, Marion, I gotta get around you here. God, I feel like I should be with
Thanks.
big deal.
Okay, the three of us were talking, but many of the things that we had put down on paper have been mentioned. One had a movie group by Zoom, book club by Zoom, a dance group in a park, I believe was said, and food drives in the park as well. In our branch, South Bruce branch, we have sort of like picnic meetings, but it's called a BYOE, and everyone is to bring their own everything. So they bring their chairs, they bring their food, their drink, and everything like that, and we just sit 6 feet apart and enjoy each other's company. We have a brunch sort of the first week of September as well, which I guess could be to hell with the bell. And I think that's it. I think that's all we've...
Thank you so much, South Bruce. All right, I'm going to pass over. There was some fabulous ideas there. Has everybody written those down to get to use in your own branch now? I'm going to just pass it on to Suzanne and Joyce. We'll need that again.
We'll be sending out a report, so you'll get all this information. Suzanne, you have to go to the book. We'll be is that on? We'll be sending out a report with all that information that you can report back to your branches and have it on as a memory. All right. Okay, here's the fun part. Mountain climbing, going on informative nature walks, listening to great speakers. I'm independent. I need for you to determine the time it will take for me to be part and enjoy your interesting activities.
So you also like making time for getting together with your friends, doing different TikTok activities. You love challenges.
I enjoy challenges. Can you touch your toes? I love those physical challenges. I love learning activities and that are for personal growth.
I just paid $800 to have my brakes done.
I replaced my own brakes. I told you I was resourceful. I'm a little grease monkey.
Gee, could you teach us all? It would prevent us from getting fleeced all the time.
I'd love to make a presentation. I could even organize to have the auto shop teacher for an in-person experience.
Come to the next RWTO OARO meeting and meet our members. I'm sure you'll have great ideas to inspire next year's programming.
Are you sure? I'm not convinced that you meet the needs of that would fit into your organization.
We have monthly luncheons with timely guest speakers and various activity groups to meet the needs and interests of everyone. We also have a fantastic extended insurance plan specially designed for our members.
Okay, I'll try it.
Our next meeting is this Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the meeting room of the Casablanca restaurant. We have a speaker who will give a talk on safe traveling, and there are so many scammers out there, we need to be aware.
Yeah, okay.
I'll pick you up at 10:30, and that will give me the time to introduce you to our branch president and some other members.
Okay, I'll try it.
Gen Xers are so skeptical.
And I hope that Gen X brings her friends. Okay, so I have another little work assignment for you. Pass it on. So, you know what activities you have now. Okay, you just saw what a Gen Xer is, somebody who's resourceful, likes TikTok, has a lot of new interests. See if you can add to your list on the second part, what could your branch, you know, your area, what have you got available for the Gen X crowd? Just give us 3, and then I'll come around and give you all a chance to let us know what you think. Thank you. Oh, okay. Yep. Organize. Should I just pull?
Can we maybe come up to that mic and speak? See, the thing is, he's got that one hooked up right now.
Okay, just a few more, just another minute. We're going to ask you, is it on? We're going to ask you this time to send your recorder up to face the crowd and give us your list. Okay, can I start back at the table with Jan Murdoch? Do you have a list for us? Jan, does your group have a list for us? I'm going to ask you someone to come up to the microphone to give us your list.
Maybe if you can start lining up right away, that way you don't lose time.
She's in a rush. We're fine. She's got it memorized. Good work.
A few years ago, the Hamilton Wentworth RW, I'm now with RW Haldeman, but RW Hamilton Wentworth and RTO Hamilton Wentworth Haldeman worked together on a wellness fair. And so it included displays from nonprofit and for-profit, and it filled the whole arena with tables of like Hearing Life, chiropractors, nursing homes, long-term care places, things that their parents might want, but also in time that we might need. But there were also workshops, and Jan did her pole walking workshop. There were ones from Goodness Me, which is a place in Hamilton, a lovely store in Hamilton. So it was the physical part. We had ones that were outside, ones that were inside. We got the cancer screening bus to come to the event and stay outside all day, and you could make an appointment and do that. Jan? Nancy?
Nancy, did you want to come up and talk? Okay.
Yeah, and it was, I went to it as well, and it was excellent. And the beauty of it was held jointly by RWTO, Hamilton Wentworth Halton, and RTO. And, you know, it was just, it really built a good relationship between the two groups, which I know is problematic in some areas. So it's something that, you know, if you can find something like that to do jointly with RTO, that would be great. But
Okay, thank you.
The reason we asked you to line up, or I asked you.
Can I get the next group to come?
It's because the sound goes into that mic.
We need the
And
mic.
we want to make sure that the people, because of the live streaming, can hear it. So just line up, and we won't be losing time, and we want to be out before the next group. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to focus on something that I think is popular with both groups, like both the older and the younger. And actually, we went into our membership. So we have over 200 members, or we did at that time. And what we did was we had at least one luncheon where we got someone who was doing something different in retirement. Number one, it helped us get to know it's hard sometimes when you have that many members. You have your little cliques of people that come and they're happy to see each other, but they're not necessarily meeting the other people in the group. So we had someone who, when they retired from a math teaching position and started writing mystery. And so she's published several novels. And so she went through what process she went through in order to become a novelist. And so everybody was interested in that. And then we had another person who got us active, and she had decided to learn how to be a clown. And so she did a lot of activities. She did parades, she did festivals and whatever, and she learned how to do the balloon animals, which was the most popular thing that she did. And so she had us try and make these balloon animals, which was really fun. Again, we were active. We weren't just sitting there listening to someone. Then she had us up doing a special dance, and we were all got up and got dancing. So, and then we had someone else who was an artist. She was an art teacher in high school, and she became an artist in retirement, really excellent. And she brought a lot of her artwork, and so it was like a little show there, and we got to walk around and look at it, and we got to hear how she got into the whole business of art. So I think if you go into your membership and find out people like this, first of all, it doesn't cost you like more than an honorarium for the people. And it also gets you to know who's in your group. And it's good for the young people coming in to know who's in the group.
So the idea is to find out how we can get to the Gen X people. So obviously having more hands-on type activities. Let me ask this group here.
Thanks. I'm from Stratford Branch. We've heard a lot about people getting more active, doing active things because the Gen Xers want to be active. And one of the activities that Stratford did several years ago that we found really brought out younger people was we planned a car rally, and it had different stops. You know, they had to solve clues and things like that. That was very popular. When it comes to technical things, I'm terrible when it comes to using the technology. And I think if we can draw in some of the Gen X people, get them to give us workshops on how to use our technology, that makes them feel more useful to us.
Absolutely. For a while in Stratford, that was my job. Someone from this table, please? No, are you good? Everything's been covered? How about here? Everybody? Any ideas from here?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Oh,
I'm Karen from Brockville. We did some canoeing, kayaking, and hiking with some of the younger ones, and that was quite popular. We have a lot of trails in our area and lots of lakes around. So that was something that appealed.
did I?
Hi, I'm Ann from Niagara South, and we thought a trivia night would appeal to the Gen X's because they seem to be into that sort of thing. Lifelong learning topics that would be interesting to them. Fitness group has been covered. Crafts where either you bring someone in or we share with each other things that we are good at.
I'm just going to add that one thing that was very successful with the Stratford branch prior to COVID was that we were invited to paint soup mugs for the House of Blessings, and that brought quite a few of the amateur painters out to paint these soup mugs that were fired and then sold off at a soup fundraiser. So that worked out really well, and I have about 15 sitting in my studio, so anyone interested in coming over to paint with me, that would be great. Okay, let's go on to the last question, activity 3. How do we reach these newly retired teachers or about to be retired? So we know that we can offer things that are physical and interesting and lifelong learning, but how do we find them? How do we find them? I mean, if it's not your daughter who's going to be retiring, as Judy did with her mom, how do we find those people? So if you could just give us a couple of ideas, we'll just go once around the room again and wrap it up. How do we find the people who are retiring in the next 5 years? Yes?
I have a couple of suggestions that I've tried. May I take my mask off to talk?
Okay, can I just bring you the microphone so that the streamers can hear you?
In June 2017, no, Lordy, 19, 2020 was the year that wasn't. So you forget everything. So in June, because that's when everybody's retiring and so on, so our group, we made a little blurb, a little letter explaining that we could not find your name, or we weren't allowed to, privacy issues, we couldn't find out who you were and all that sort of stuff. So we went to each school in our town, our area, and we took our pamphlet and a little letter, and we went to the principal or the rep or the secretary or somebody. We went to all the elementary schools, all the high schools, any private schools, and the Catholic schools, separate schools. And we did that. Now, we didn't get anybody yet, but it was a step. And I remember the one principal said, "Oh, I've got someone who's be perfect for your group." Bless her heart, she didn't come, but I felt good giving it to him. But that was the face-to-face contact. And sorry, when I wear my mask, I forget to breathe. So,
feel free to take it off.
Okay. So this year, I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school or not, but the Area 13 presidents have been meeting. It's just something we thought we'd just to support each other and so on. So we are now forming a full-page ad to be developed over the next year for next spring to go into all of our local newspapers. And there are some things that we need to do to get that out there. So we're talking about who can we meet, who can we see, to get permission to come into their schools, to give them this advertisement and this kind of thing, just to get it out there, because we not only want to put it in the paper, but we want to put a duplicate in each school. But it's got to get on the bulletin board. It has to be promoted physically, personally, and not just hypothetically, or, oh, by the way, there was an ad, did you see it? And that kind of thing. And so I'm very proud of what we've started. So hopefully we'll know, and I'm even talking about going to the principals' meetings. You know that problem, when it's your idea, you get to do it. So here I go on stage. But so that's something that we're just developing and working through. So that's something that we did.
Well, thank you very much.
I have a question. Has our provincial organization ever connected with the other provincial organizations like OECTA, AFO? Like, do you have a relationship where we could introduce ourselves and then, we have a partnership? So that would be something you can do. I'm just really shocked when I started with our WTO, and I've told my members that too, is that I was a real strong leader in OECTA, and I just couldn't believe that, we didn't have a connection that we could have our flyers sent to the OECTA office, whatever it is in your area, and they send it out and it goes on the OECTA bulletin board or the other federation boards. So that's one thing. And we also had workshops for OECTA at it would start like in February or March. Are you retiring? Blah, blah, blah. And why don't we attend those workshops and let them know who we are? So anyways, that's mine.
Anybody else with some ideas on finding new people? Okay, Joan.
Thanks. One of the things that came up, because of privacy of information, we're not allowed to go into the schools or find out people's names, but board meetings have minutes, and board minutes are published. You can get to them online, and you can find the list of teachers who are retiring for any given year.
Part you were laughing at. They laughed at you. Anyone else have something else to say or ideas? Yes, Patty.
So according to your dates, I'm a Generation X, and yay. Yeah, and I'm VP. Here I am, but yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, first of all, social media is what younger people do for sure, and I don't know about you, but I'm from a small town, and we have St. Mary's Life, and you post on that. But they will only post based on St. Mary's, but Stratford has Stratford Life, and it's all free, and if you advertise, it pops up. It's amazing what you can do. The other thing is, this was the RTO, because I also joined them, and they gave a free lunch, a breakfast to me, that to hell with the bell. I thought, oh, I get a free meal. So I really, it's worth part of your budget to offer one free meal or something to go to it. So not that I can't afford to pay my own breakfast, but it was just kind of, I get something free for retiring. So I just recommend that as well.
Thank you so much. Stratford gives the best new membership meeting at the art gallery at Stratford. It's amazing.
I'm from London, Middlesex, and in London, Middlesex, we had something. We knew that the way to get new people was to ask our people to bring them to us. And so we called it Each One, Reach One. And at first, this is pre-COVID times, we gave them a free lunch to come to one of our meetings, and then hopefully they would join. But now what we do is we invite them to come and pay for their lunch, and when they join, then they get a free lunch at the next meeting. So they see the advantages of that. And it worked.
We used to have people come to Stratford who would have, the free meal every year and never join. So that's a great way to do it. Anyone else? Okay, because we're just about ready to wrap up. So I'm going to pass this back to Suzanne Rondeau. And I think you've all had some wonderful ideas, and now that you'll have some chance to think of it. So you'll see on your tables there's a pink sheet that asks you to give us a little bit of information that we can turn around and give back to you.
And just like when you do your lesson plan, you always run out of time.